In today's episode, I want to share how I turned one Google document into $6,000 because online course creation doesn't have to be hard or complicated. So let's talk about it today.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
Hey, welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast. And I'm so thrilled you are here because we are having a very exciting week in the Course Creators land, because next week is our topic and title challenge for a Rockstar course. It's a free 5-day challenge that I only host a couple times a year. And I'd love for you to join me. Go to topicandtitlechallenge.com or the link in the show notes and sign up. It's free, and I've designed it to where if you only have 15 minutes a day, you can still use the information and move yourself forward so that by the end of the week, we have the topic figured out for your next course, and we have a title that you can use for the next course that you're creating. So I hope you'll join me, topicandtitlechallenge.com. I can't wait to work with all of you to figure out what you're going to do for your next online course. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year, and you get to see what it's like to do some coaching with me, because every day in the evening, we are going to have daily coaching. So you can hop on the Zoom calls with me, and we will jump in and talk about your situation, talk about your market, talk about your course, your topic, your title. And so I hope you'll join us. It's free, so, jump on in. So today, though, I want to talk in this episode about an experiment that I did last fall and how one Google Doc turned into a fantastic new revenue stream for me. So what was going on? This was about October and November of last year. I was wrapping up with a current round of students that I was working with, and I really loved working with them. They're fantastic. They show up, they do the work, and I realized I didn't want that to be the end for us. I wanted to be able to continue working with them and talking with them. And in addition to that, once you get your course created, there's this whole period then of where you have to figure out, how am I going to sell this thing? How am I going to get in front of the right people? So I decided, you know what? I want to put something together so that I can continue working with this group of outstanding students. And I didn't want it to turn into a huge project. So I wasn't sure, should I do a membership, like a monthly membership kind of thing, which would mean setting up a whole membership site, or, what could I offer? Maybe it needed to be something on Kajabi that I could do. And as I thought about it a little bit more, I realized, this has potential, but I don't want it to turn into a huge project. So even though, I know how to set up membership sites, I've got Kajabi set up, I could set up a project on there and get a new online course going, but I wanted something simpler and easier and less work in order to set up. So what I decided to do was create each month a Google Doc that links the students in this new course to the content for the month. And then I would email that to them a couple times during the month so that they would have access to all of that information, and they didn't have to go log in anywhere. They didn't have to worry about where this course was and where all the information was. It was all going to be linked into a Google Doc. And then to keep life even simpler, initially, I didn't even create an official sales page for it. I used a Google Doc to create the sales page for the course and then put links in there so that people could sign up. So it ended up being a roaring success. I was really happy with how it came out. And I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you because there's a couple things I think that can really get in the way when people are thinking about, should I create an online course or not? And one of them is the technology. The technology can just stymie people, like it can stop them in their tracks. And so we are constantly working on ways to simplify this for you to where you're not having to get more and more stuck in the swamp of I can't get this to work in the tool that I'm working in. So this was an example for me of how simple can I make this. And all the content is uploaded to a Google Drive, and then each piece of the content is loaded into the Google Doc. It's a 6-month program, and the people who signed up on Black Friday got the month of December for free. So they had 7 months. So it's 7 different documents that they're going to get. And then I also added in some coaching sessions, some study hall sessions where we all get on and we work at the same time. I added in some templates that I have, and I have my assistant helping me create. And then each month we do what I call an implementation workshop, where I pick a specific topic that I want them to do, and we teach it, and then they go off and they work on it for a half an hour at a time. So we're actually implementing the content on the call instead of saying, hey, let me teach this to you. Now you go find some time to go implement it in your schedule. We use the time during the workshops to actually do the content of the course. So I've been really, really happy with the way this came together. Number one, because it was so much simpler for me to set up. I didn't have to have some complex layout. The other piece of it that I think has been a secret to making this work is that my primary target audience was people that had been working with me in the past. So all but one of the people who signed up knew what they were getting when they signed up with me, like they've been through one of my other courses. So it was easier in that respect to sell it. I didn't have to have some complicated sales process because it was just, hey, you want to keep working together? Come join us for Course Profits Accelerator. Here's what you're going to get. Here's how long it's going to last. And so I'm doing this in rounds, which is a little bit different way to think about doing a membership, in that I wanted to have the group that was working with me work together for a solid 6 months, because we're working on putting their marketing and sales process together. And because of that, I needed a way to sort of run them through the same process. And it wasn't something we could do in 6 weeks or in a short amount of time. So we are working together for 6 months. And then at the end of that, I'm going to do round 2. So we'll see how that falls out, and if folks want to continue or if we get a round of people coming, because we're doing the 24-hour Course Creator Live is coming up in a couple weeks, where that is going to kick off. So I may run into some new students who then want to continue with me in June and July for the next round of the Course Profits Accelerator. So part of the reason that this works is that the audience is primarily people who have already worked with me. So there isn't a lot of that requirement to show them that I could be helpful for them. The folks who are in it, they know what we've been able to do already. So that's one of the secrets. The second secret that I would say that helped make this work is I had a good title for this, and I had some coaching help on coming up with the title. So that is one of the pieces. When you are thinking about your next online course, spend some time figuring out what a good title should be. And a couple things that can help with that is you want to talk about who it's for. And you also want to throw in the result that people are getting. So the concept here, it's Course Profits Accelerator. So it's for people who have courses, and the general concept is that you've got your course done or close to it when you jump in. It's not meant to be for folks who are just getting started. It's you've got a course already. The goal is that you want to get profits from your course, and then the accelerator portion of it is that I'm helping you get the things up and running faster. So we had our implementation workshop yesterday, and another piece of it that's helping distinguish this from lots of other people that can help you with it is that I'm very specific about we are doing custom planning for each person. So the student A who's in it with me will have a different marketing approach and a different tactics than student B. So they looked very different. It was very exciting as I was putting it together. There was very little overlap between the strategies and the tactics that the different students wanted to pursue. And so that is part of the uniqueness of this program. So as you are figuring out your topics, as you're thinking about what your next online course should be and what content it should be, think about how can you be unique. So what is the unusual step, the unusual approach, the unique way that you teach or share your materials with your students? Because that's what's going to help them look at your course and say, hey, this is the one for me. This is perfect fit for what I'm doing. And the second piece of that is you want to have a way that your students can get to know what your teaching style is like before they sign up for a larger program. I'm not talking about a $47, $97 program. I'm talking about anything probably that's $4.97 or up. You want to have a way that they get to experience what it's like to work with you. So with this project that I was doing with this Google Doc project, almost all of these students had worked with me in the past. So that checked off that box. And what you can do is maybe you're offering master classes. Maybe you're doing a podcast. Maybe you're doing social audio rooms like Twitter Spaces or Clubhouse, or some way that people can hear you and learn from you in a way that they can experience what you're like. Because I will mention, there's some of the experts that I listen to, some of them I love to listen to, and there's some that I just like the way they teach, and I just don't enjoy being a student of theirs. And that's great, because what that means is there's room for all of us. There's this huge pie of people who are interested in a topic, and the ones that love the way you teach, the ones that really like the way you put material together, the ones that like listening to you, will be the ones that sign up for your specific course. So I hope that gives you some ideas of, hey, how can I make this simpler? Like, let's just use some Google Docs and Google Drive and get this sucker out there. Let's get my online course up and running and selling. And then, you can always improve. And 100%, I used to think, I'm going to get these courses done and they will be out there and I'll have them finished. Well, nearly every single one of my courses need more attention through the years. So things will happen that change the process, change the way the software works, change the way you need to do something. So it's never officially done. It's just at a point where it can be sold. And then as I make improvements, as I make additions and come up with new ways to teach topics, I'm adding to the courses and redoing parts of the courses, or adding some more worksheets or templates and different things. So it's constantly in this process of improvement. So you just need to get it to a point that it works. Get it to the point where your students can get the result and then start selling it. Let's get that out there and get that quick cash coming in with good content. Now, I don't want to imply that I think you should just throw up things that are not complete. That's not what I'm saying. What I 100% want you to do, though, is not get stuck on making sure it's perfect. Let's get up a course that will get your students results and get it going, and then make improvements, make additions, and raise the price as you're doing that. So I hope this episode, if nothing else, gave you some things to ponder. This week, you can use some of these ideas, think about them, pull them into your brain and mull them over, and think about how could this work for me to use Google Docs to get some things going and running quickly. And then I really, really hope you will join us for the topic and title challenge that starts on January the 24th, 2022. Or if you're listening to this episode later, check and click that link to see when the next one will be held. So topicandtitlechallenge.com. Come join us, and I'm looking forward to coaching and working with you next week for 5 days. It's going to be a really fantastic week, and I hope all is going well for you, that your course business is off and running for the new year, and that you've got lots of ideas bouncing around, and that you're implementing and getting them in place for the year ahead to help your students and make your dent in the world with your course and helping people move on. Because that's really the entire goal of my business, is that we need really good online courses. We need to help people improve their lives, improve their businesses, improve their parenting, improve their everything in their lives. And so let's get some of this really good material out to them. So thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a subscriber and following and reviewing and talking about this podcast with your friends or in Facebook groups where other experts that you are getting to know or that you work with. If there's someplace where you could possibly share it, I'd appreciate it if you're enjoying the podcast. So have a fantastic week, and we will catch you hopefully in the Topic and Title Challenge at topicandtitlechallenge.com, or if not, I'll be here next week with another episode of the podcast. So take care, and I will talk to you soon.